So you want to buy a house in the Cumberland County, Harrisburg area. The good news is I can certainly help you with that. The bad news is right now you don't know anything. The reality is a lot of times buyers come to me and they just don't know much about the process at all. And here's a list of 10 things that I think are really imperative for you to know. Number one, get a pre-approval before you fall in love with a house. This is important. You don't want to go fall in love with a house. Oh, I love this house, I've got to get it, and not have a pre-approval, because one of two things is probably going to happen. Either one, the house is going to sell before you can get your pre-approval, or two, you're going to get your pre-approval and you won't be actually qualified to purchase that house. You don't want to put yourself in that position. Number two, staying with the lender. Your pre-approval amount is not your budget. The lender will probably give you a pre-approval max, which might be a really, really high number. Does not mean you should buy a house at that number. You need to work with a lender. You need to find a good lender so that they will work with you to figure out what your budget is. This is especially important where we live because the taxes are different from place to place. The water, the sewer, the utilities even are different. I know there's a place in Boiling Springs with astronomically high water and sewer. And those are things you probably want to think about before and make sure that they're worked into your budget. If you need help finding a good lender, let me know, I can help you. Number three, it's never too early to talk to a realtor. I have friends like, man, I don't want to waste your time. No, that's my job. You're not wasting my time, I'm just doing my job. So if you have questions or you want to start the process or you don't know, that's what we're here for. Give me a call, you can shoot me a text. What are we on, 4? Cumberland County is competitive. Yeah, this Harrisburg, Central PA area is competitive, especially Cumberland County. Perry County's been competitive lately, as well as had some competing offers in Dauphin. And why that's important, you need to be able to act on a house basically immediately. Within 24, 48 hours, you want to be able to get out there and see it. I have a guy who, by the time he sees a house and he's like, I'll go drive by it, which I love that. But by the time he's like, let's go check it out, it's like, oh dude, it's sold. Like, it is under contract. 5, don't make a bunch of big financial purchases or anything like that. Don't go really deep into debt if you're planning on buying a house in the relatively near future, especially after you get a pre-approval. If you do things like buy a car or get into debt, that's probably going to affect your pre-approval and you have to go back and figure out what you qualify for at that point. Number 6, closing costs are not included in your down payment. They're extra. So whatever percentage of money, whether it's 3, 5, 10, 20, 80% you want to put down on the house, realize that you're also going to have closing costs that cover things like title insurance, brokerage fees, if you have to pay any commission, tax escrows. Typically about 3 to 5% of the purchase price is going to also come in as a closing cost. And if you're not expecting or ready for that, that could be a really big deal for you. But between a good realtor and a good lender, shouldn't be a ton of surprises there. Okay, buyers, what is this, number 7? The listing agent is not working for you, okay? It's their job to have the seller in mind, have their best interest in mind. A lot of times people will call the seller and be like, hey, can I come see the house? And to be honest, you don't really want to be talking to the seller because they might try to get information from you to use against you in the end. And probably definitely don't let them do a dual agency. That could get everybody into a big mess of a situation. Number 8, interest rates do matter, but they're not everything, especially if you're renting and you don't have a house that's at a low interest rate. I tell people it really doesn't matter at all. You can't even afford to wait for interest rates to come down. When they come down, if they come down, you can refinance. Not a big deal. But if you don't have a house and you're waiting, you might be waiting forever. Besides that, if they do drop, then the market is going to be flooded with other buyers and it's going to be more competitive, and that's going to drive house prices up. Number 9, this is something I talk to new buyers about a lot, is you're probably going to lose. I say realtors do more losing than they do winning, because if I'm going into a situation with 5 offers, well, only one of them is going to win. There's going to be 4 losers. So statistically, you're likely to lose some offers before you win one. It stinks, it's sad, it's sometimes emotional. Just try not to get emotionally attached. Lastly, number 10, the appraisal. What is the appraisal? What does that even mean? Maybe you've never heard of it. Well, most people that I work with want to do an appraisal contingency, meaning if the house is not worth what you're purchasing it for, then you enter into negotiations. Let's say the house you write for $100,000, the appraisal comes in, and if it's only worth $80,000, well, your mortgage, your lender's probably not gonna cover more than that $80,000. That would be a liability for them. So you'd have to say, okay, am I gonna pay $20,000 cash to make up that difference, or what's gonna happen? And a few things could happen. One, you could get into negotiation, as long as you have that appraisal contingency, or you could accept it and pay the difference, or if you can't negotiate it, you can always back out, and that just saves you a lot of heartache if you don't want to purchase a property for more than the value of the house. I know that was a lot. It was honestly probably too much. I apologize. It all went really fast too. But the bottom line is I'm here to help. I understand that this isn't your job. If you have questions, if you're confused, that's what I'm here to do. So feel free to send me a text on any of these topics or any real estate question, and I'd love to help you out. It'd be my honor. And we'll talk to you soon.